Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State's playing really, really well, um, and playing with a lot of energy. And it's an early game there, so you have to travel in, about an hour, hour and 10 that morning. So, and the cowbells they have, and Coach Levy's done a great job. So, we're excited to get over there. We understand how good they're playing right now, how hard they're playing, and have all year, and have high respect for the coach and the team. We're looking forward to going over there and playing.
First up, we have Trey Bidwell of hogsports.com.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I was wondering about Cody Kennedy last year. Obviously, the offensive line didn't play up to standards, and he seemed to catch a lot of heat from fans on that. I was wondering about your thoughts on his departure last year and the job that he's done now at Mississippi State.
Well, he's done an outstanding job over at Mississippi State, and he did for us. The last year wasn't good, and he understands that. We all understand that. But the year before that, we were really good up front. So Cody, he's from that area, and when that job came open, I'm sure Coach Levy reached out to him, and I'm happy for Cody. I love him, and he one of my GAs, and he's having great success and doing a fine job over there at Mississippi State.
And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the season that Andrew Armstrong has had to this point, just your thoughts on his growth from last year to this year and the job he's done.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy for him. I think it's a lot of it. I think he would say the same thing, his maturity. He's always believed that he could play at this level, which we have too. But I think it's a maturity. I think, a quarterback looks for a certain guy. Obviously, he goes through his reads, but I think you earn that ability to be the guy that the quarterback finds. I think Talon and him have a great relationship, and he's earned that. But I think, Trey, overall, it's just his maturity. Obviously, coming in here, Bobby and Ronnie have done a great job with his route running. I think he's better there, but he's catching the ball extremely well and playing with a high amount of confidence. I'm happy for him.
Thanks, Coach.
Next, we'll go to Mike Griffith of AJC Dog Nation.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you about hostile environments, and obviously you've been in them all over the country. How much does that affect the offensive line communication, one? And two, obviously this is a good example this week with the cowbells. I mean, just how significant can that be, and is there anything extra other than using crowd noise you can do to get your guys ready for that sort of hostility?
Well, we played we played the bells all day, yesterday, and going to do it again today. To me, that's the biggest advantage that you have. It's not necessarily the travel, because the travel's so convenient with the airlines. You have your own plane. Obviously, a little bit different with Mississippi State because of the travel. You have to have the day of the game, but really the advantage is the crowd, the home crowd. And so you have to do your best to take that away. And to do that, you have to stem a lot in practice because that's what most home teams do. And you have to make sure that you practice it. You have to have the noise coming from the right areas. I remember my first year here, we had crowd noise coming from the side, and it doesn't come from the side in the game. It comes from about a 45-degree angle, as stadiums are. And so we changed where our noise was coming from. I thought it helped us tremendously. And so that's the biggest thing there is to try to be able to handle the noise. And so far on the road, we've done a fairly good job of that.
Thanks, Coach.
Next, we'll go to Andrew Hutcherson of the Best of Arkansas Sports.
Hey, Sam, you mentioned earlier this week that you're going to open up that left guard spot, with Kudus and Blackstock. I'm curious how that's gone and how have you distributed the reps there this week at practice?
Yeah, they've gone half and half. There's still the battle there. We probably won't know exactly who we're going to start there. I think they'll both play, but it's been a good competition this week. Both of them have played well. But it is a competition. We're going to have to run one of them out there with the ones. We'll figure that out after today and tomorrow's practice. Both of them's had good weeks.
And what's the latest you can tell us about Jaquindon and Rodney Hill and their availability for this week?
Yeah, I would say probably coming out tonight on the injury report, I would say that Jaquindon would be questionable, doubtful, and Rodney would be probable.
Next, we'll go to Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam, I wanted to ask you about the run game. It was so productive for you the first several weeks. How important is it for you to get that back on track going into this game?
Yeah, I think it's big for us. We certainly have practiced hard at it in our first 2 days, have a great plan for today as well. But we've got to take pressure off our quarterback and our wide receivers and our offensive line, for that matter, in third down. Sometimes games dictate whether you're behind, up, how far you are, dictate the amount of runs that you're trying to do. But every time you turn around and hand it off, you want to have success. We have not necessarily done that the latter part of the last 2-3 games. We're trying to get it back. We know that's a big, vital part of us having opportunities to win.
Yeah, you said Monday that getting Hill back would be very important because he's such a tough runner, and at 160 or whatever he weighs, you wouldn't necessarily think that, but he has run tough. And I just wonder, what is it about him that, like, he's broken tackles and stuff?
Yeah, he's just a fearless guy. He's a wonderful kid, first of all, but he's a fearless runner. We saw that when he was, before he entered the transfer portal, when he was playing at Florida State in that first game of the year when they played LSU a few years back. But he is slight, as you mentioned, but he brings his style of running. He brings that to the room as well. And he's a wonderful kid. So we need him back just because of his toughness and the way that he runs, and hopefully that becomes infectious.
That's going to be all your time today, Coach. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.